My role at the Association for Mineral Exploration as Vice Chair is that I'm a director. So mineral exploration in BC has been something that's been going on since the days of colonization, since the beginning of the province of BC. And we haven't always treated Indigenous people with the respect that they're due. So I'm really excited about this new legislation. It calls to us to behave better, to act better, and to regard Indigenous people with the same level playing field that we're all on. So with that said, I've always been a strong proponent of early engagement and why that's so important. And I think for those that may be concerned about veto and how that might work, it's that early engagement stage that's really important, when we trust the other people, the Indigenous people, the communities that we're engaging with information to let them know where we are with our exploration and if that will go to development or not and how we might need their support. But it really is about communication. So with that in mind, the members of the Association for Mineral Exploration have been trying to do a better job in terms of engaging with communities. And I think there's some really good examples of where that's happening, and Chad will speak to that momentarily. But to help our members to become better engagers, we've created a toolkit. And we're really excited about this because it does talk about early engagement. And it's really about why it's important, how it's important, when it's important. And it's all the things that people may have questions about. So we're really excited about that. And we're hoping that as we kick off that toolkit next week at our annual conference, it will be an opportunity for members to become better engagers with Indigenous people. So with that, I'll make one comment. We strive to be a better organization. So 3 years ago, I joined the board as a director, and now I'm happy to say that Kareem McCabe from the Nisga'a Nation is also one of our directors, as well as Chad is also the director of AME. So I'm going to turn over to Chad to talk about the things that are happening in the Tahltan territory.
My name is Chad Day. I'm the president of the Tahltan Central Government. I've been in this role now for about 6 years. It's always great to be in Vancouver. I was born at the Children's Hospital about 32 years ago. So a lot of people don't know that about me, but I was born here before moving to the north. I just want to quickly recognize that, as the president of the TCG, it's always a team effort. I'm here today with our sole employee that's in the house, Sean Descharmes. Wave up, take a bow. And I also want to recognize Bill Adden, who's one of our elders in the house. And I would not be here, the Tahltan Nation would not be the progressive, wealthy nation that we are today without previous generations like Bill doing such an amazing job. When I was asked to give the speech, they said I would only have about 6 minutes, which is about 10 times less time than I normally have to speak. So when they said it was about UNDRIP, what I thought I would do is I would quickly, holistically talk about some of the things that the Tahltan Nation is involved with when it comes to consent-based decision-making. Because of course, there's a lot of factors in that. There's consent amongst your own community. That's a very tricky thing that a lot of nations are dealing with right now and struggling with. There's consent-based decision-making with industry. There's consent-based decision-making with government. So I just wanted to quickly touch on some examples. A lot of these things you can find online, and then our doors are always open to work with other First Nations groups. And we have a lot of amazing Tahltan consultants out there like Bill in the house that can help you learn from some of our mistakes and some of our achievements. When we talk about something like consent-based decisions with government, several years ago we signed something called the Shared Decision-Making Agreement with the province. It's online. It was signed in 2013. And that basically sets out what I would call process certainty, so that we can judge as two people at the table how serious an issue is to the Tahltan people when some kind of a permit application or something like this comes in, we have 4 different stages, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how serious that is. And I think what's nice about having agreements like that in place with government is that it forces both parties to come to the table to actually make informed decisions together. Because I think everybody in this room has had relationships break down or things blow out of proportion because we didn't have proper information, or we weren't able to just sit down with the other party and have calm, collected discussions about what the issue is. Agreements like that allow us to not only get at the table with the province, but also surround ourselves with people that actually understand the issue at hand so that we can make informed decisions. At the same time, when we have impact benefit agreements with industry, again, there are all kinds of provisions in those agreements that touch on environmental, touch on employment, revenue sharing, contracting, dispute resolution. It's very important to have all of those things in place. And an example of that with the active mining project is with something like the Red Chris Management Agreement. We signed that in 2017, and right in that agreement, it has something I think called the Mining Forum, and we actually sit down with 4 deputy ministers from 4 other ministries. We talk about whatever the significant issues are at the time, and we really spend a lot of time to reach consensus-based decisions. We create those spaces with good agreements, and we do the same thing specifically with industry, specifically with each company. We're getting more and more capacity all the time. When I started at the TCG, we had 4 employees, and by the end of 2020, we're probably going to have about 40 employees. So as we build that capacity, of course our agreements are going to evolve over time. And I would just say to, maybe one other thing to quickly touch upon, I think I have enough time, is that it's one thing to get the consent of an Indigenous government, and as we see with some examples around the province and around the country right now, getting the consent of the government and getting the consent of the people on the ground are 2 very different things, and it can cause all kinds of delays. I'm very proud of the Tahltan process because we actually don't sign any agreements as the TCG government ahead of our people. We have an extremely thorough process internally. We go and we speak to our members in 16 different locations, most of them in British Columbia, a couple in the Yukon, and then we actually end up going through a ratification vote process. And everybody can respect that. Even people that really don't like me or like our government or like the decision, they respect the fact that we informed our members properly. We brought in the experts, we brought in the lawyers, we brought in the environmental people, we brought in the government. We had that conversation over and over and over again, usually for about 1 to 3 years, and then we go to a ratification vote, and if the vast majority of Tahltan support a project, then we go forward with that certainty, not only from the government side of things, but also from our nation. So, if there's anything I want to leave you with today, it's that even though UNDRIP on paper and in the news is this brand new thing, there are groups out there like the Tahltan that have been building quite successfully a lot of consent-based agreements with government, with industry, with our neighbors, and I just look forward to getting us to the next level because every generation is stronger and stronger, and it's an exciting time to be an Indigenous person in BC. Adu, thank you.